The worst mistake ever. What is going to happen? I am taking IPOB to Abuja on the 17th of next month in our court case.
We are with you, sir. We are with you.
There will be 2 million people in Abuja.
Yes. I will be there.
I will be there.
I will be there with you, sir.
I will be there. We take the battle to our enemies.
Yes, sir.
And let me make this very clear to you. You are under oath.
Yes.
And by virtue of that oath, you are under direct order from me.
Yes.
Any day you wake up, you hear I've been arrested, born Nigeria down.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If we abandon Chukwukika Biama in truth and honesty, please goodbye to Biafra. Biafra can have in a billion years. You'll be only running around in circles. You can never come. It is the kingdom of heaven itself. You want to do something that is happening in heaven, on earth, for mankind to see and testify to the grace of the Lord. You have to be of the courage. You have to be without fear in the face of your enemies. If you are without fear before your enemies will run from you. Rather than you running from them, your enemies will run from you. If you speak the truth always, regardless of the consequences, lies will run from you. You must protect those who cannot protect themselves, not to steal from them. I repeat, it is your job as a child of heaven, IPOB family member, to protect those who cannot protect themselves. That is your job. Not to kidnap them, not to rob them. You must be of good conduct that Chiku Okike Abia left. If these conditions are not in place, Biafra will not come. Biafra Gahabia. Going to a native doctor, Dibianyanzu cannot save you. If you want Biafra, it doesn't work. We don't believe in that rubbish. Chukwukika is our shield and our guide. We don't commune with darkness. I am warning all 17 commanders, all our commanders, we don't commune with the devil. We don't do Odeshi. We believe in the protection that Chukwukika can offer. The weapon you need to protect yourself is your gun and your ammunition. We don't commune with spirit.
Yeah, Biafrans, lovers of freedom, wherever you're found all over the nations of the world, if you believe in freedom and you love Biafra, and of course, anyone who loves Biafra loves freedom. I want to welcome you to this live broadcast today. I don't know your time, but I want to say good day to you or good evening to you wherever you are. And I want to appreciate you for joining. My name is Kelechi Ambrose. This is Biafra Global Network. Now on Biafra Global Network, we speak the truth at all times, nothing but the truth. Whenever you see us appear, we have packaged loads of truth to tell you and to give to you. And that is the basis of this broadcast today. And I want to appreciate you. Today is a weekend, of course, and today is the 27th day of May 2023. And I wish the children all over the nations of the world happy Children's Day, wherever you are. Be a good child. And to be a good child is to prepare yourself to be a good citizen of a nation. You know, childhood is the beginning point of nationhood, where you groom people, you get them to prepare their minds for what they can do and how to lead the nation. And the reason why we have so many people in Biafra today who are fighting themselves, fighting their own freedom, going into criminality and all of that is because many of us were groomed in Nigeria. We grew up in Nigeria. The slavery mentality and all of this has disfigured and disarmed us on our mind, and so we don't reason well, and that is why you see lots of evil going on. I want to thank every one of you who are here. Please, as you join, please just like this video and share on all your social media platforms. We shall be talking deep and extensive today. We are hearing of the killings going on in Biafra land. Of course, having details and evidences of all of this stuff, but I'm going to come give you more evidences about that. Today's broadcast is not for that, but please, we want to let people know that there is big conspiracy against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the ESN. A huge fundamental conspiracy against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the ESN. And this is calculated, a well-calculated and orchestrated program by the Nigeria contraption, using people within us to destroy the legacy of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, using people who are projecting the narrative of Nigeria directly or indirectly, people like Simon Ekpa and others who are running the program of Nigeria and, of course, invoking Nigeria to come kill our people. Even when they get resources, they get resources from the people to equip ESN, but they don't provide the resources for ESN to be equipped. I mean, they don't provide the materials for ESN to be equipped. Rather, they make they brag and make boasts that will bring the Nigeria contraption and its agents to our land to kill our people. And of course, we know of the criminality of Butuzo and all of those people who are going and killing people. And of course, we hear of the Eze who was killed. I'm going to give you details of that by the next broadcast, maybe by Monday, when we're going to have, another broadcast. Today is going to be about FEIN, details of FEIN and other facts that you need to know, because today is going to be very analytical and, of course, educative. And that's why we're here today. I want to thank God for preserving the life of one of our brothers in Argentina. Pape Jima had to travel all the way to where he is, and he had an accident. He's one of the people who made the Argentine government to recognize Biafra and to understand that Biafra is formidable, and to recognize Biafra, of course, in details and all of that. So he actually had an accident and almost cost him his life, but thank God that he is fine today, and thank God that he is sound and safe. And I want to thank also, on behalf of the accountability group and every lover of freedom all over the nations of the world, we want to thank Papa Ijima, who went all out to, with that and expending and doing lots of things to make sure that that our brother receives, that love and care. And of course, we pray that he's recovering fast. Anyways, thank God, in spite of how terrible the accident was, his life was sustained, and we appreciate Chukwokike for that safety and that deliverance. Thank you all. I want to appreciate you. Today we shall be looking critically into the issue of Biafra, and especially the details of FEIN. Now, I wanted to know something. Anybody who does not align with the purpose of truth will always make bloody and costly errors that would expose them. Whenever people are not connected to truth, they would always go about carrying out activities that would make them expose themselves. And that is one basic fact you must come to understand. And except you understand that, you will not understand that. Anyways, you need to understand that to understand that. Because the only way you can understand that is to be in the spirit of Biafra, to have the spirit of Biafra and the mindset of truth to understand that. And that is why today we shall be looking critically on in-depth analysis and details of the activities of Biafra. At the same time, the information that FEIN put out there for Biafrans to know what is on the mind of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Now, remember, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu stands for truth. And if you want to know Mazi Nnamdi Kanu very well, go back to his broadcasts and listen to him over and over again, you will come to understand that he is consistent. And everything he has said from the beginning is what he maintains all through. That is how you know who is truthful. That is how you know who is responsible. That is how you know who is consistent. That is how you know who is definitely, reliable. And when Mazen Abdulkarim says a thing, he stays on it, and consistently so. Also, we have been able to prove that everything he has said have come to pass, the prophecies and the things that he has said. This is 6:14 p.m. Biafra time, and I have to say this so that those who are there will know it's a live program, those of you who are part of it and all of that. But before we go on into this exposition in details, I want you to listen to this lady again. You know, sometimes we forget the facts about the things that some of our people who are dead or some people who suffered during the Biafra war said and projected, the things they believed in, you know, the concept they believed in, the structure they believed in, the Biafra they hoped in, and the things they said prophetically, and all of that about Biafra. And I want you to understand that everything we do right now would either uphold what they said or mar what they said. That means we are the prophecy executors or evidences of the prophecy that were projected in the times of the Biafra war, where when people talked about Biafra must be here and Biafra must be achieved and all of those facts and details. All of those prophecies are supposed to manifest because they are from the spirit. In a time of war, in a time of devastation, of which death is everywhere, people could see death. You know, you see people dying around you, you see people starving, falling down to die, and hunger and all of that, and bombs and all of this stuff around you, blowing and everywhere. And yet you could stand and say, Biafra will come. That is prophetic. In the midst of the situation, you could still stand for the truth. That is very, very prophetic. And for that prophetic utterance to manifest, every one of us who are here right now must make sure that we do the right thing to make sure this manifests. I want you to listen to this lady briefly.
Of Biafra.
We've lived in the north for so many years, and the reward the Hausas could give my poor father was to kill him. He was the first man killed in the May massacre. After being chased for some few yards, they shot at him, and then when they got him, they had to slice him into two, like, you know, when you want to slice your bread into two. A human being being sliced into two. Can you imagine such a thing? Biafra is going to emerge as a nation. You know, despite the support of Britain, Russia, Egypt, and some other friends of Nigeria, we all will surely come out as a nation because we are fighting a just cause. Even a little child on the street will tell you this. We shall never go back to Nigeria again. God's grace will surely emerge as a nation. And so, as far as this war continues, we'll fight to the last man.
Having faith in what you believe is what would actually give you what you desire. And belief or what you believe in or belief system has a lot to do with what you get. Because most of the times we act contrary to what we claim to believe. When you see people do the things they do today, you can tell what they believe in. From their actions, you can tell what they believe in. Thank you so much, Prince. Prince has already sent a message. I'm just seeing the messages now. Thank God for preserving his life and recovery. Thank you so much, Conan View Media, for that. We're here. Keep up the good job. I may be joining you soon. All right, sir. We're here. I'm expecting you also, of course. Now, let's give perspective to today's broadcast because it is very, very important that I open up some things today. I want to analyze some things here. Now, I'm going to be posting what Bruce FEIN said here because this message here is very, very deep and very, very formidable. MNK has asked me to communicate to Biafrans his repudiation of the Fox Biafra Republic government in exile, treasonous to his quest for Biafra statehood. Treasonous to his quest for Biafra statehood. MNK has asked me to communicate. Now, I'm going to be taking this in details because it is very, very important for me to open your eyes, Biafrans, especially those of you who don't really understand when statements are made for you to understand some things. But before I do that, of course, I already have, Prince in the house, and of course, I have Ken also here. So we shall be, hearing, from their perspective too, as regards to further information we have to get and know, and the things we need to understand, especially based on what has been happening. And basically, also, I actually want to look critically into the act of deception, because everything we see, when you read a particular book, what's the name of that author now? Is it Green or something? He gave perspective to laws of power. He gave 48 laws of power, and one of those laws was the art of deception. And deception is a critical thing, a critical tool, in the sense that it has a way it can be utilized for positive, gains. And also, of course, it can be used. But basically, we know that emperors and people who enthrone themselves on throne they don't deserve actually use that as a means of manipulating people and deceiving people. And critically, also, the law of deception is critical to suppression and manipulation. Because it helps the oppressor manipulate the people whom they want to control. Now, Prince, I want to bring you here because I know you're a psychologist, and of course you can give a very good analysis regarding this as connected to the activities of Simon Ekpa, because we want to look at how the minds of our people, is being controlled, the way their minds are controlled. What are the elements, because the control is not in isolation. It sprouts from, a narrative or sentiment, and then that is at that point, the deception comes in. And of course, if you want to look at this, one of this is superfluity of speech, where Simon keeps posting things and keeps posting things and keeps posting things, especially after the issue of Bruce Fain's post. And then the next thing we see is messages coming here and there and here and there, because he needs to occupy the minds of the people with a narrative that carries the undertone of that deceptive program, so that he could keep people in line with what he is thinking and what he wants to achieve, and keep them away from reasoning on their own independently to ensure that they are.
Oh my God. Now I'm getting a call coming in. I'm sorry. I've got to go out and come back in. I'm sorry.
Okay, please. Now, before Prince returns here, he's going to be talking to us in that regard, because we're going to be looking critically to these facts. And these are things that are very, very critical, because here we are on this platform, we want to educate. And we know that we don't just come to expose things, but we come to educate, at the same time expose. Because if we are going to educate you, if we are going to expose things, you must understand from the standpoint of view, or from the corner, or from the perspective we're coming, so that you can gain knowledge. It is principal here for us to understand that knowledge is fundamental to the nation we are building, or the nation we want to build. If we are going to talk about Biafra, then we shall be talking fundamentally about knowledge. And knowledge is critical, because knowledge defines a people. If you look at the nation of Israel, for instance, today, you can understand how they have been able to grow and what they have been able to achieve as a people. And of course, we are from the same line, and we are people gifted and all of that. But if we want to bring up and establish our nation here in the eastern part of West Africa, we must exude the concept of knowledge to be able to stabilize and get ourselves strong and firm in line with what we want to achieve. Now, deception is a very, very unique tool in the hands of emperors or criminals, and especially people who want to manipulate their ways into into people's minds and make them do what they want them to do. There are so many stories I would give about deception, or the application of the concept of deception, but I'm not going to talk about those stuff today. I'm not going to give those narratives today, because there's so many things to talk about in line with what we are analyzing today, the message of Bruce Fain. Now, Bruce Fain, of course, we know, is an American lawyer who was a former Attorney General of the United States. And then, of course, you heard when Pastor Mecca and Prince were talking about where his office is located, just a stone throw to the White House. He has a standard, he has a reputation. And of course, you know, Americans don't joke with their public servants, who, especially when they are public figures and have a name. And for Bruce FEIN to be where he belongs right now, you know that he has made a name through his positive contribution to the nation, or to the nation of the United States, you know, the states of the United people, you know, or the United States of America. Now, Bruce FEIN has earned, based on his input and output and everything that he has done, he has earned his respect, he has earned his place, he has done everything like he has earned them based on his, you know, input to the nation of, or you know, his input to the nation, the United States of America. Let me call it a nation, because a group of people with common ties, they have common ties, of course. Now, Bruce FEIN also understands the implication of doing or working in discord with the reputation he has earned over the years. And Biafra would not be the reason why Bruce FEIN would lose his identity, his tenacity, his reputation, and his stance in the committee of professionalism or greatness. Now, which means that anybody who wants to adjudge him must understand where he's coming from. One, he doesn't have anything at stake. If he does anything or whatever happens, he doesn't have anything at stake. In fact, Bruce FEIN is doing a great service to the people of Biafra based on his actions and what he is doing and what he says. And you must come to understand, basically, that Bruce FEIN is not a Biafran. Good evening, Edith. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Well, there's one E-Frog here insulting me, but let me keep him away, because such people, when they don't have ability to argue, they could resort to, you know, insults. That is how you know empty brains. When they don't have, you know, argument, you know, a superior argument, the result, that means, that tells you, that is how you know those who are criminals and those who are actually haters. If you see most of the Simon's boys, all they do is they send threat messages. They are sending messages to us, telling us how they're going to come kill us, how they know where we are and all of that. That tells you that they are on the path of the wrong, because nobody will be on the path of the right and threaten you to believe in them, or threaten you. If you castigate me and try to, rubbish me, I'll just laugh and I'll just tell you what I need to tell you. I don't need to threaten you, because I know I'm on the path of truth. So whenever you see somebody threatening you and saying some stuff, know that they actually are on the path of lies, and they are criminals and they are evil. And what does lie do? Lie breeds death, murder, and all of that. Murder, not mother now, murder. So, and look at him saying some stuff here. He says I should pay money as if he gave me money. Look at how idiotic people can be. And I'm talking about you. Instead of you to come here to reason, you come here to post nonsense. We don't blame them anyway. We have to stay on the truth. Ego says keep hammering on the truth. They can keep saying what they like. Yes, thank you so much. Of course, I have people who are here and who understands what it means to be on the path of truth. Edith Nedu, Ego is here. Of course, we have Conan View Media and other truthful people who are here. So now Bruce FEIN has a reputation, and as I told you, Bruce FEIN doesn't have anything to gain whether he supports Biafra or not. Bruce FEIN came to Nigeria for 5 times or so to make sure that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is released, and we saw what Ejiofor and Co did to him. And in fact, he told us, because Pastor Livingstone and Prince went on behalf of the accountability group. They went on behalf of the accountability group. We discussed, and then they went on our behalf to meet him, to discuss with him, because Bruce FEIN is one of those Mazi Nnamdi Kanu believes in, and is the international lawyer for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So anyone who Mazi Nnamdi Kanu believes in, we must work with. And that is what we're doing. We're not talking about those who sold him anyways. We're talking about those who are of clean hands and people who don't have a stake in the contraption, Nigeria. And not like people like the criminals who have who got themselves stained, by selling Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, some of the members of the DOS, and of course some of the people who are not part of the DOS, who are part of the mainstream betrayal betrayal of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, like Ejiofor and co, who are now frustrating Bruce FEIN from being part of the system, so that they don't, they don't want Bruce FEIN to carry out the actions to free. You see, our people are so wicked now. The issue of the Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have become an opportunity for them to showcase themselves. Bruce FEIN came in here, and the only people who could now, Bruce FEIN, let me tell you some stuff before we go into the analysis of Bruce FEIN's message. Let me tell you some stuff. Bruce FEIN is an American lawyer. He's not registered to operate in Nigeria. He doesn't have a license to operate in Nigeria. And so when he came to Nigeria, the only way he can come to Nigeria and be involved in a case is when a lawyer who is part of the case or who is in charge of the case invites him to be part of it, based on the argument that this is someone who is more professional in this angle, especially since Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case is also an international case, because it has to do with the kidnap and extraordinary rendition of a citizen of the UK. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not a citizen of Nigeria. He has renounced his citizenship for a long time, he has destroyed the passport, that represents that. He has proclaimed several times he's not a Nigerian. So if a contraption like Nigeria is kidnapping him, then it is an international crime. You're kidnapping someone who is not your citizen. Even if he is your citizen, you don't have the right to kidnap him. There is a procedure, extradition procedure, that is used internationally under the international law to extradite someone, when they are, when there are evidences against them concerning a particular crime or crimes. But Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has no evidence of crime. In fact, he had to go away from Biafra land September 2007, is it 17 or so, when he was targeted for assassination. They came to his house, 28 people were killed, and he escaped for his life. And so that was what saved him. And so he had a right to keep himself safe, because we have a right to self-defense. And so in that regard, Nigeria has committed international crime by torturing him for 8 days and extraordinarily renditioning him into the contraption in Abuja, which is not his land. September 14th, 2017. Yes, thank you so much, Kunon View, for that. Now, that crime warrants international attention, but because we know how Africans are treated, and we know that Biafrans especially are a threat to the world based on the concept of development and all of that, we know that they would not always look at our case constructively and justly, or look at our case with, truth. That is why you see all over the nations of the world, their media houses cannot come all out to speak about the injustice that is happening in Biafra land, or even in the contraption as a whole. The Christian bodies will not come out to say anything, because the Christian body as an organized religion is under the world order of demonic operation. They are all together in that narrative. So when you hear of Christianity, you hear of Islam, you hear of all of these religions, they have one common point where they meet. They meet at that point where they compromise to hijack power and control the world. That is where the narrative of the world order is explained or defined. So when you hear the world order, it doesn't mean a particular narrative somewhere hiding or hanging somewhere. It means, or it encapsulates, a group of people from different sects, different religion, and different, sphere, nations, and all of that coming together under that auspices of control. And these things have levels. We have the super level, where you have the United States and other people who are in that realm. Then you have another level, and then you have the contrary level, where you have Russia and all of that seeking to have dominance and control. So this world order program is also, in spite of the fact that it is all about power and control, it still have people who want to overrun other people and, of course, dominate them. And so when you hear of these and all these things and these facts, then you must understand that as a nation, as Biafrans, whatever we are doing and whatever we're thinking, don't think that any nation will come and give you your freedom. if any nation is going to come into the concept of your freedom, they will come with the expectation that you are going to open up every fact and detail to make sure they exploit you. That is why we must take our freedom in our hands, and very, very effectively too in our hands. Our freedom is in our hands. Definitely, we must deal with it in that regard. So you see, whatever is happening and what is going on with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and all of that, till date, there is no outcry. Nobody's saying anything about it. Joe Biden is not saying anything about it. Boris Johnson or Rishi Sunak is not saying anything about it. The Pope is not saying anything about it. And even if Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a Christian, yes, some of you don't know he's a Christian. Some of you say he's a Jew. Of course, it doesn't. Who told you that Jews are not Christians? Even Christ himself is a Jew. You see, we have to understand Christianity in the sense of what it means by the original plan of God, not in the religious term. So leave the narrative of religion. In the concept of religion, or in the organized religion, by which is designed by the revised Roman Empire, because we have the revised Roman Empire in operation, and where, if you observe, you discover that the nations, the colonial programs that have held the world sway all this while is carried out by nations who are, of course, originally in the old Roman Empire. So it's a revised program of the Roman Empire, and religion is a tool for that in that regard. But that does not distort or destroy the program of God in the concept of religion, talking about Christianity in the original concept of it. In the original concept, when they were named Christians in Antioch, as you go to the book of Acts, also in the book of Acts, also chapter 7 or so, when they were named Christians, I can't remember the chapter now, but go to the book of Acts. You can see it. Now, they were named Christians because they had a lifestyle that is of Christ, not because they raised or built a religion or organized a religion or started a program, a religious program. No. But today we see different programs. And of course, even before Christianity came in, there have been several religions and programs, sects and all of that, occultic programs in different sets of different nations, and governing the world and doing lots of things, atrocities all over the nations of the world and all of that. But in that regard, now it came to the point where Christianity now also was engrafted into that concept of religion. When the Roman Empire discovered that Christianity is a very lucrative tool that can be harnessed or exploited for their own conquest and their own control of humanity. And so that was when the Roman Empire decided to accept, under Constantine, they decided to accept Christianity. Under Damasus, the then chief priest in the Roman church, then it was now accepted when they now brought about an organized Christian religion, where the use of the penances, the confession to priest, sign of the cross, and all of these details and relics and all of these details were now adopted and brought into Christianity, and it now became an organized cult or program. And today we see somebody like the Pope heading it, and he claims to be in love with humanity. He claims to love the world and all of that, but he has not said anything about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. None of them are saying anything about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I believe that if Biden was there, he would have said something about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I also believe that if Biden was there, maybe they wouldn't have attempted to kidnap Mazi Nnamdi Kanu or torture him or extraordinary rendition him. I don't want to say it might not have happened, but I think there's this fear, there's this you remember when Biden mentioned the issue of Nigeria and all of that. So all of this might not have happened. But anyways, that's not the issue. God has already allowed it to happen, and God knows why these things are happening. Now, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has become a prisoner of conscience, and the whole world is quiet. Nobody is saying anything about it. And of course, Bruce FEIN, in spite of everything, is doing all he could do and all of that to make sure that these things work, and that the world gets the facts about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and of course for us to get Mazi Nnamdi free. But before I go deeper into all of these details, because I'm going to be taking it step by step, and to get us, Prince is already here, so we're going to go in that narrative, because I want you guys to learn some very, very important things today, so that you can understand the mindset of our people and know why they are vulnerable to this situation they have found themselves, and especially when they are seriously controlled by every manner of deceit that is out there, from people they have already accepted as must be their leader, or somebody, the people they have accepted to mean that these people, they can't do without these people. Now, Prince, you're welcome back. I know that you actually had to attend to that, and that was why you normally you would just want to ignore the call, but that must be very important. That is why you decided to. Now, the concept of deception, people are easily manipulated. Once you just start your show, you see some people will come up, they'll start insulting you. They have not even heard what you want to say for that day. They don't even know what you want to broadcast. They have not even heard your message. All they do is just come to insult you and tell you how wicked you are, how stupid you are, and how idiotic you are, and how you have stolen money, and all of that, all just because they want to justify Simon, and they don't want to listen to anything you have to say. They don't want to believe that Simon has ever done anything wrong. They don't want to believe that there's anything wrong with the concept and design, even if there are obvious evidences of criminality, of which you don't even need the evidences are all out there. In fact, Simon alone is an epitome of an evidence or evidences to this effect. Tell us about the concept of deception and how it's, how it controls the minds of those who have been trapped in its claws.
Can I begin also, as always, by removing my cap on behalf of my God, the creator of the world, the owner of all things, God who plants his wisdom in us, God who gives us the air that we breathe, without which there is nothing called life. I want to acknowledge the presence of God because this is a hallowed platform. We come here to speak the truth. And without the truth is like the same air we breathe. Without the truth, we perish. Without the air, we die. So we want to acknowledge God, the owner of the air we breathe. We want to acknowledge God for everything, and we give him all the glory and ask that his will be done upon Biafra, because he has willed Biafra to come. So may we all live to see Biafra and do the needful.
Yeah.
So,
sorry, please, just quickly, Madam Adazai, thank you so much for that correction. I'm talking about Trump, not Biden. Thank you so much for correcting me. Thank you. Right, so please.
Now, Kelechi, I want to thank you for the work you continue to do. I want to thank all the genuine Biafrans out there who are very clear in the mandate and who are determined and who understand the deception which began from the time Nigeria was constructed. There is something I want to give out because that is very important, very, very important. And then it will link you to this deception, the word that you have used. Remember, the deception is not just affecting those who are the followers. The deception is also more of affecting those who are being followed. Simon is deceived. The whole Nigerian system is deceived. All of the GOs and whoever, whatever, everybody there is deceived. So their followers are deceived as well. So I want people to understand the psychology and the real thing happening in that contraption. And you know, in this life, the autograph of God is in everything we do. Even when something appears wrong, you will still see that there is something there pointing to the right things. But because those who do wrong are blind, they won't even see that. They won't see it. Now, there is a reason why. Hello?
Correct.
Okay. Yes. There is a reason why everything human beings do. For example, medication, the tablet, the drugs we take in order to actually cure an illness. No matter how wonderful it is, it will always have an expiry date. It must have an expiry date. There is a reason why there is expiration date. It is simply because at a point, something that is good becomes toxic. Even though the starting point is that it is positive, it is good, it is right for you to use. But we know that even as good as it is, at a point, it will become expired. And if you used it beyond the expiration date, you are putting yourself at risk. Let me use the Igbo language now and bring it home for those who might say they don't understand English.
Your voice is gone now. I think you have a call. I think you have a call now. We can't hear you. We can't hear you. We can't hear you. Yes, we can't hear you. I think let's no, we can you have to go out and come in again because the yes. I think we're getting somewhere there because you can hear the perspective Prince is coming from, and he's getting deeper into a particular line and the school of thought there. You know, you see a school of thought there. Now you see there is a very, very important point he's trying to bring out here. You know, talking about the led and the leader, or the person who is being manipulated in this regard. Now talking about deception and the person who is manipulated. Now you see there are two sides of this. You know, when you talk about deception and those who have been the person who is deceiving and the one who is being deceived, there's a point where you just have to understand that this thing affects both the one who is led and the one who is leading. In the concept of deception, there is a way, or that's okay. I think he is back now, so he is going to continue. Please, you can go on now, please.
I'm so sorry. I mean, I was having too many calls today, so interrupting the program.
Okay.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
I believe everyone is here.
Okay. Let me move my location. Hopefully, things are going to be a lot better.
Okay.
All right. Just one sec. Yeah, but I'm quite sure all Onye can understand what ofe means. Soup. Because the analogy I'm giving now would help us to appreciate what has happened to Nigeria and why the deception of Nigeria has now affected every Nigerian. Now, if you cook soup now, no matter how brilliant that soup is, or no matter how good it tastes, if for any reason you wake up in the morning and then give me pay that ofe, it's gone sour. Now, it doesn't matter what you do, whether you decide to put akanwo in it. Yeah, it doesn't matter what you try to do to get it back to what it was. It will never become what it was before. Okay. Now, I hope that has brought it home, but I'm still going back to tell you that no matter how good something is, including medication that we use for our recovery when we are ill, once that medication expires, it becomes hazardous to whoever wants to use it. And then whatever you find, whatever you get, is up to you. This is where something originally was designed to serve you, to procure your health, to be useful to you. This is where something originally was meant for good. Now I want you to consider Nigeria so you understand why Ishijibaka, everybody not there. I need you to understand it and why everybody there is at risk. Everybody at risk. It doesn't matter who. Everybody is at risk now because of that deception has caught up with everybody now. I want people to know that originally Nigeria was a construct of evil. This is why I pity those who pray for Nigeria, because they are irritating God and they are placing curse on their own head. Nigeria was a byproduct of covetousness. Nigeria was a byproduct of evil constructed to ruin human ingenuity, designed to ensure malfunction on a regular, on a persistent, on a progressive, and on a permanent basis. These were the premises upon which Nigeria was constructed. So it was based on demonic factors originally. But in spite of the fact that it was as bad as I'm describing, an expiration date was clamped onto it, 2014. That was, and so now you can understand something that was originally bad, okay, that has expired as well in the last 9 years. Something that was based on deception that has expired in the last 9 years, and people are still eating from it. People are still living a life in it. People are still existing within that construct. You can see why even Simon Ekpa cannot relate to his own deception, his own evil. He has gone crazy with it. That's why he's panicking. And as he's panicking, he's coming out with many, many more lies, many more deceptive words. And his followers are just going along with it. And the whole of Nigerian agents, everybody that says they are Nigerian, they only want to see your face. They don't want to hear what you're saying. They start pouring what you're saying is no longer relevant. And even the truth you tell them, when they hear it, to them it sounds like lies. Because they are byproducts of lies. They are byproducts of deception. Psychologically, they are in tune to only receive lies. Anything that is truthful irritates their ears. So I think we needed to have a broader understanding as to all the propelling agents that have brought all these Nigerians to where they are. And that is why it doesn't matter how few, we are. We need to know that we are majority because we are working with God, who is the truth. And it doesn't matter whether you are just one. Once you are with God, you become the majority automatically. And God is about to surprise everybody, including Nigerians and all their foreign agents working against Biafra. Biafra represents the truth. You see, we have sown so much lies in this world to a level where America, Britain, look at Britain right now. Okay. Look at Britain. Britain wants you to believe that they are civilized, that they are upholders of justice, human rights, etc. But look at the contrast. Look at the contrast. We are talking about a British citizen languishing in DSS custody today. And on the other hand, we know that under British law, even if you are a criminal and you're held in a foreign land, the British consulate have a duty towards you to procure your welfare and ensure that you receive justice. That is a standard British rule. It doesn't matter the level of criminality you've involved in. Britain must defend you. Must protect your welfare. In fact, in some cases, Britain will actually go for bringing you out for you to go to Britain to serve your sentence or whatever, just to make sure that they protected a British citizen abroad. This is a duty. But in this instance, we have a British citizen who was kidnapped, who was renditioned illegally to Nigeria, imprisoned illegally. In spite of all that, even the courts of the same Nigeria freed him of all charges. But Britain has failed to do or say anything about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. But they are busy supporting the same illegitimate, fraudulent government that is holding Nnamdi Kanu, a British citizen, to ransom. Britain is involved in even electing them, asking people to go and vote. Your vote will count, knowing very well that their votes will not count. Now, but they are also telling you that they are custodians of human rights, justice, equity, civility, righteousness. And that is why I'm calling on humanity to rise now. And from this moment, or even from yesterday, devalue anything coming out of Britain with this level of evil, inhumane act of evil. None of British officials has what it takes to even talk to any human being, let alone begin to advise anybody on anything. What they have done is to reduce British citizenship to vile evil. They've reduced everything that they say they are to nothing. I don't think anybody that is a British official, whether it's political or religiously, has what it takes now to open their mouth again and talk to anybody. That is the level that humanity has come to. Do you know that people have propelled the activities of man to a level where evil is now deemed as good and good deemed as evil? That is how bad things have become. But I tell you the truth, we must declare the truth without fear or favor. We have it as a duty, because after all, we are all transiting and we all have to account for our stewardship here on earth. And without the truth, we are wasting our time, because lies will destroy all of us. So it is now time to be courageous in unleashing the truth in its natural, stark, naked state. You've got to be courageous in unleashing the truth in its natural, stark, naked state. Let it go there and embarrass the liars, because they hate to see the truth in its stark, naked state. They hate it. They don't like the sight of it. That's why they want to cover it up with something. They don't want to see that stark nakedness of the truth. But we got to throw the truth out there and stick with it, because it is only the truth that can resurrect, that can clean up this mess. Otherwise, we are all going to perish. Now, let me tell these silly Nigerians and remind Biafrans of their duty. Nigeria is evil that has expired and died. It is now smelling like hell, and the smell in itself is threatening everything about our nostril breathing. We can't breathe anymore. And that smell is about to kill everything that comes in contact with it. So we have a duty now to bury Nigeria. Nigeria has died a long time and expired a long time, and is now a threat to everything living. The duty we have is to bury Nigeria, and we must bury Nigeria so that humanity can breathe some fresh air and live. It's a duty, and we must do it. I thank you.
Thank you so much for that. I would want to ask you just one last question before I let you go. That would be in, in regards to the fact, of course, you have mentioned, the in-depth information we need, especially on the behavior of the British system and how so debased they are and low they have gone, and how useless the British passport could mean in the hands of an average African, especially when they are standing on the path of truth. Now, Mazen Ambekano is a Biafran, as much as by birth, a Biafran. And before he got into this kind of trouble, he was pursuing a program that will help people from his birthplace get their freedom. And he sacrificed so much in this regard. And in fact, before he left, before he was taken, he said, "I will not betray you. You will betray me." And then looking at it, the people gave him so many promises and all of that. And in fact, you saw one particular video where they were saying, "We will be there, and all of that will always be with you," and everything. These are people who made him believe that he is going to receive their support anytime, no matter what the situation is. Now, Mazen Ambekano is in the custody of the British program under the DSS for 2 years now, of course, 2 years. But yet, we see the people, or some of the people that should stand for him, supporting an action that is treasonous, as Bruce FEIN put it in that statement, to the program of Mazen Ambekano. And that proves, that shows the level of betrayal and all of that of who Mazen Ambekano is and what he represents. Now, what do you think is responsible for that level of deception that has brought these people? It seems you have okay, and when it comes in, because we want to look deep into this, and it's very, very important that we look into these facts. Now, of course, I will still bring up the caption because I want to give you guys very, very important information regarding this. But as soon as Prince is through, then we're going to be looking at this also. Okay, thank God Prince is back now. Okay, it seems you still have this this call coming in. No, we can't. We can't hear you very well. You're faint. So I think there's still this problem. So now Mazen Ambekano is still in the custody of the enemy, and he's still held because of what he stood for, or he's standing for, the fight for freedom. And that is why Mazen Ambekano is there. But I begin to wonder why the people he's fighting for have allowed themselves to become, all right, Prince, I don't know if you can hear me now. I don't know if you can hear us now. Okay, I think he's still having the problem. Now, I don't know why those people who Mazen Ambekano is fighting for have allowed themselves to become the ones who would continue to sustain his stay in that DSS dungeon. Because every action and every activity right now proves to that is to that effect. Okay, I don't know if you can hear me now.
I can hear you very well. I'm so sorry. I've had so much interruptions today. It's unbelievable, but it's okay.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So,
okay. Now we're looking at this. The same people he had sacrificed everything for, the same people are spitting on him, sustaining his stay in that dungeon. For instance, someone comes up and begins to give himself titles and begin to destroy the legacy of Mazen Ambekano. And the people keep supporting this impunity, and yet telling you that they support this impunity to support Mazen Ambekano. That means supporting the impunity is actually supporting mass. What are you going to say about this madness?
You use the right word. This madness is an absolute madness. But I think everything you see in life has precipitating factors. Nothing happens without a reason. Everything has something propelling it. Every reaction has an action behind it. The truth in all this is that I've told you about Nigeria already, about that concept, Nigeria. You see, it was built to encourage the focus on stomach infrastructure. Okay, so once you can get people to focus on their stomach infrastructures, you can take every other thing relating to their living as human beings, and they will just merely exist, even lower and worse than animals. That is that's the whole premise of the construction of Nigeria, to make sure that people reduce their eyesight from that of being human, where you are productivity, where you become sort of engine through which ideas are formed, just to turn that into you becoming something that looks at your stomach infrastructure here and now. Can you give me money now? Can I eat now? It's all about money and eating and the acquisition of what man has built, without the notion of building anything by your own self and becoming creativity or recreativity by your own self. No. So
Now, Prince, before you continue, I want you to look at this also from the perspective of the submission done by somebody here, Prince Sonic Biafran News. He said the control is genuinely based on the redundancy of inaction, which when MNK was kidnapped. A huge chasm was created by the IPOB leadership, Mazichke Edozian. Biafrans are now finding it so tiresome to embrace this final transition, or the so-called metamorphosis of the autopilotism. Biafrans are tired of losing learned men like your group, who single-handedly created the beast out of the autopilotism, and now coming out to criticize and fight the monster you created at a very crucial hour in this struggle. Those times would have been utilized to fight our adversaries, not on destroying the house you teamed up to build. You guys called your audience fools and gullible, but you guys championed this sustainability and durability and the insurmountable bravery of Simon Ekpa. Simon was smart in his easy approach with Madam Mazuka because he has learned his lessons from Madam Nelly Ofebu, Madam Uibo, Madam Akafo, and Nena, Anya. Whoever controls the account wields the power. Even MNK realized that and never interface with the American and the German treasurers who control the accounts. This is why Simon Ekpa rushed to create the BRGIE to reduce the strength and control of Azuka by naming her the deputy treasurer. You then ask yourself why Simon never asked or interferes directly with the
I think
people's
we've got
account.
the gist of what that guy is talking about.
Yes. I think we've got the gist here.
Yeah. So
just say something
So the thing to appreciate is that the same sickness that in fact you will see even from Wazirike time into the Nnamdi Kanu and the OS time, that stomach infrastructure. In fact, we ourselves have begun to deal with that stomach infrastructure thing. You've seen numerous people coming in. All they are coming in is to think, oh, we can do one business here, we can do that there, we can. They think Biafra restoration is to do with trying to create trying to create a career out of the struggle. Of course, we've seen it. And that's what gives us a little bit of advantage. because I don't think these other groups had a weeding out, what they call weeding out system. We are not weeding any Biafran out, no, but you are ensuring that within the inner caucus, there is no career agitator. Rather,
now that's what I want us to deal with, one of the arguments here, although I'm going to also want to respond to him, but
yes.
I just want to point, he said, so it's just that, he said something, I once suggested that there are many ways to solicit fund and millions of cash by $1 donation from millions of Biafrans. When the fund is embezzled, nobody will raise eyebrows because it's just $1.
Don't worry.
Obama and Biden did it with their internet contributions and ended up the business high donors who have hijacked both political parties. Donors, donate your efforts in fighting the Fulani atrocities, and you will find out that there is enough market in the Biafra struggle. Now you see the mindset they have. It's all about finding a market.
Yeah, you see, I was actually you picked that up immediately, because everything is money as far as these people are concerned. You see, for us, the most important thing is ideas. You see, because ideas must go forth before money. Money plays just a secondary role. Without ideas, you can have as much money as you like. You'll only have criminals who are going to find a way to dip their hands into it. Okay? Whereas if you have ideas and you are sincere, for example, what we have is, of course, two major elements, which are restore Biafra, rescue Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Okay, so it's very clear where we are going. So, and with the structures we have put in place, it is now easy to ensure that the money is well directed. And when it comes to issue of accountability and transparency, people are structured in a way that no one person or two people can run away or do their own thing when it comes to our finances. Ideas. Look, Biafrans are renowned for ideas. That was why it took the whole world 3 years before they could stop Biafra, and they had to actually use the food weapon to starve Biafrans to death, because they couldn't stop Biafra due to ideas. So this is why we are hell bent on getting Biafra, because we know that the gift of ideas is something God gifted Biafrans from childhood. And that is what Fulani, Britain, and etc. have tried to subdue. But we know that their games are up, okay? And that's why we are determined this time to get it right. Haven't seen all the mistakes coming from Wazirike, coming from but one thing that cannot be compromised is the position of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And when you listen to Nnamdi Kanu, he spoke a lot about consistency. And that is the difference you find between him and this criminal called Simon Ekpa. The level of inconsistency. He has never said anything that comes through. Total inconsistency. You go from this one, anyway, for me, he's got the brain of a child anyway. Okay, so in fact, I even hate to mention his name, because that is giving him what he doesn't deserve, actually. So, and I also understand what propels him and what propels those that are following him. All of them are due for rescue, but we have to start rescuing our leader first before we talk about these other ones that have to go through reorientation, depending on the level of where they are, So I just, in answering your question, actually it boils down to that initial answer I gifted you when it comes to the way Nigeria was structured and what it was meant to produce, coupled with the fact that it has expired. Okay, so this is what has fed the people that are saying to Nnamdi Kanu, we'll be there with you. Oh, we are coming there with you. No. It's all about stomach infrastructure for them. Okay, as soon as they saw Obi, they felt obedient to will do it for them. As soon as they saw everything because it's about stomach infrastructure. They don't want to see real infrastructure. But the warning I keep giving to these people who are based on stomach infrastructure is this. This is the danger. The person that is funding you to talk rubbish and to kill or to destroy or threaten lives is only giving you money. And that money, you use it to buy food, buy drink. Perhaps if you are a womanizer, chase women. These are the three major things. Major. There will be other things you're going to be using the money for. But these are the three major things. Buy food, buy drink, chase women if you're a womanizer. Now, I don't think these people have considered the fact that with those stomach infrastructures, okay, it's only a matter of time before the food and the drink they are drinking, plus the woman they are chasing, will land them into serious medical problem that requires the real infrastructure, which is hospital. No, I don't think these people have thought for a moment to know that it only takes a day when the combination of the drink, the food, and the sleeping around with women will land them into serious medical problem. And then they are now in dire need of the real infrastructures. They might not even have a good road to drive them down to a hospital. It could be that they don't even have the road, let alone getting to a hospital. And of course, the hospital they will get to is also a health hazard because there is no infrastructure there.
That's right.
So when we try to get these lunatics to pause, to reason, we find that it is actually impossible to get them to pause and reason because of the combination of the fact that Nigeria from the onset was poisoned. And then when a poison then expire, do you understand? Do you understand that poison?
That's it's
when a poison now expires, oh my God. That is why you have these brainless people. They only need to see your face and they start cursing. They start, okay, they haven't had anything. In fact, look, the madness. That's why I tell them, nobody in that contraction is actually safe. Doesn't matter, because the contraction in itself is poisoned and expired and dead. Simple. And if people haven't understood it, I am telling them now to listen deeply and understand it. They are even lucky there are Biafrans thinking in this way, because only Biafrans in this mode can rescue all of them through the will of God. Only. And you see, when people hear about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and say he's trying to rescue Biafra, no. Anybody fighting to restore Biafra is fighting for humanity. This is what people don't understand. The real genuine people fighting for Britain, fighting for Fulani today are the Biafrans. If you think these people know what they're doing, you think Britain knows what it is doing. Do you think Fulani knows what it's doing? These people are destroying themselves by trying to stop Biafra. Biafra is the only thing that I kept writing it, but people don't know what it means when I say without Biafra there is no humanity. And I mean it. I mean it. But time will tell and time would reveal that what I've just said is the pure truth, pure fact. When Nnamdi Kanu says Biafra is the kingdom of God on earth, one of the last standing miracles on earth, he was telling you the truth. And let he who has ears, let them hear. All this nonsense being done by Britain and the Fulani revolves around one narrative. Revolves around just one narrative. The fixation on things that are not supposed to be fixed. Look, let me summarize it by saying the fixation on the golden eggs, the preference given to golden eggs over the goose and the geese that laid them. That's what these people are doing. That tells you the level of madness. That I'm just giving you a summary of what is propelling Fulani and Britain and etc. Fixation on golden eggs, the preference given to golden eggs over the geese that led them. What does that mean? What is driving the madness you see in Fulani and Britain today is what their limited blind eyesight is seeing. And these things they are seeing are things that were recreated from what God created. Things, is it crude oil? Is it gas? Is it money? What name you name it. These are things human beings recreated. It was human beings that gave these things a name. It was human beings that gave these things a meaning. It was also human beings that gave these things value. But you know what? They are killing human beings because of crude oil, gas. These things human beings gave name. These things human beings gave meaning. These things human beings gave value. That is the same thing as killing the geese for the sake of their golden eggs. Now, after killing these geese, how are you going to get more golden eggs? So, Biafra is coming to rescue these psychopaths, these psychotic people, these deluded souls who think they are brought into this world to control others, who think they are the owners of a world that long existed before two strangers indulged in sexual activity to give birth to them. People who came out totally empty-handed, totally naked. People who depended on others totally for their survival, suddenly decided to believe that they are in this world to control others. People who can't control their adult children. People who cannot tell their adult children what to think, what to wear, where to go, how to live their lives. But in their delusional minds, they believe that they are in this world to control other people's grown-up children and places that had long existed before their ancestors were born. That is the level of psychosis that we are dealing with. And that is what we are looking to cure and treat in Britain, in Fulani. Look, let me summarize this by saying, do you know that all these people are chasing around and claiming ownership of is the land? The land. Let me tell you briefly what the land represents. You know, there is a reason why it doesn't matter that we are all byproducts of the womb. But Kelechi, you can help me in telling the world where we end up in. We end up in the ground, don't we?
Correct.
Yes. Even though we are coming from the womb, without the ground.
And interestingly, the womb is an extension of the ground too.
I was going exactly where I was going. Because without the ground, there will be no womb.
Yeah.
Without the ground, there will be no place for the bearer of the womb to stand.
Mm.
I want people to know from this day, if they haven't known it already, that even that skyscraper you are looking at, even that aircraft that you see, even that rocket you're seeing up in the sky, even that tree, everything you see, including the human beings that you see, everything came from the ground. It's important people understand this. It is because of that, no baby that came out of the womb returns to the womb. They go back to the ground because the ground is where all of us originated from. The only thing that departs away from the ground is the breath that God put into us, which makes up our spiritual side. As far as our physical being is concerned, they must return back to the ground. That's why you see, when we build and construct any house, no matter how good it looks, if you withdraw the presence of human beings in that house, give it 3 years, give it 4 years, give it 5 years, come back, you will see it doesn't matter how many animals that live there. In fact, the animals will help the building to start reverting back to nature because they want to go back to the ground where everything came from. So, but you have the Fulani in their psychotic mode and the British in their psychotic mode, fighting for a ground they will all return back to, a ground that they came from. But they are fighting to occupy a ground as if where they were born, there was no ground there. This is how mad, this is how psychotic these people are. Because we must be able to break these things down for humanity to understand. Because a day of discernment is coming. So you don't want to wait until it comes and then you are in shock that you have lived a life of lies all this while. That is why we speak. And a genuine Biafran is unafraid of spelling out the truth, because we realize and we recognize that the truth is the only thing that keeps you alive and that will sustain your spirit into eternity. Only the truth will do that. Lies will destroy you. Lies will lead you to die twice and die permanently. I thank you. And I hope you wouldn't mind giving me a break because I've got so much going on.
Okay. All right. Please, we will, of course, Monday is another day. That's our mind surgery program. We can discuss more on the mind issues, because basically we know that the problem is on the realm of the mind, and we need to get Biafrans to get out of that world of illusion and mirage. Absolutely. Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate you for your time. Always.
Take care, my
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, Ken, you be good now. Enjoy.
Yes. Comrade
Thank you. Keep up the good work.
Yes, we will. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate you. Now, comrade, you heard everything that Prince have been talking about. We've been looking at critically how the mind of our people is wired. The minds of our people are wired, and how they tend to tilt towards what will destroy them, rather than going after what they claim to be looking for. For instance, someone claims to want to be, and Mazen kind of told us several times that Biafra represents truth. You know, I did this now before they will say I'm rubbing my nose.
Rather we bring out your picture that you're choking your hand, your finger in your nose.
Oh my God. So now, now we say we want Biafra. And the reason why we say we want Biafra is because we are tired, we are afraid, and we are tired of what is happening in Nigeria. Nigeria seems to be a cynosure of evil. Exactly. And then those who say they want Biafra are actually pursuing the features of Nigeria in the quest for Biafra. Now you are looking for a nation that is different from the monster created by Britain, and yet you are supporting the mystery, or let me not call it mystery, because when it's mysterious, the attitude is mysterious.
Mysterious, exactly.
Pursuing those features that make that place called Nigeria what it is. You are pursuing it, supporting it, and wanting it in the place you say you're going. Now, I don't understand. I don't know how to place that level of madness, because it is beyond madness. It's now witchcraft. What do you think about this?
Yes, Kelechi, thank you very much for having me, and I'm very sorry that I came up to the program now because I was a little bit busy running here and there, so I just came back home. Yeah, these are issues that have been so long in our place. Sometimes we say that education have a lot of part to play in our life, but not all. You know, because as Prince have been saying, he always speak about humanity and every creature that God created have knowledge. You know, that is why the biblical people always pray for knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Even if you are educated or not, you need to have knowledge. You pray for knowledge, you pray for wisdom, and you pray for understanding. These are just like the three bases that someone needs to live. You understand? But according to what you are saying now, I see it as if these are the three basic things that our people are lacking. And to actually say, why are they lacking this? This is what I can't even have thought. I can't even think about how come about this, all this shenanigan. You know, so our people claim they are businessmen. You have money, but in this issue, when you have money, they believe you have something upstairs. So our people also believe that we are more educated than other people. But after all these educations our people have, still you see they have nothing upstairs. So you just see that our people are being moved with one demon, which I don't understand. If that is the demon of pride, or the demon of proud, or the demon of being better than every other people, which they can't even show. So you can't tell me that you are better than a particular people, you are more intelligent, you have more, you are more educated, and you people are the children of God, and you behave like the children of Satan. So let me just say this. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu gave us a lot of lecture. He even told us when we are coming to his program, we should come with our pen and papers so we can learn. A lot of people also say that that very teachings of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is like a university, which I took it to be so because I learn a lot from him, from his words, not his behavior, not his character, but from his words, because I follow people by what comes out of them, not who they are. So, but today we are talking about the Fulanis. When you talk about the Fulanis in Nigeria, in that contraption today, people say they are foolish people. If you talk about the Hausas, when the Hausas were still there because there is no Hausa anymore, people say the Hausa are stupid people who pick things around. But they are the people using you today. They are the people running you today. They are the people running your mineral resources. They are the people running the affair of the country you say you belong to. So I don't, this is a very serious thing and a very hard question for me to give an answer to. What really happened to our people? These are questions I'm supposed to be asking them, not me even narrating to them why they find themselves in this very situation. Because as I always make example with myself, is that there was a time I was living a life that is very critical and crucial. I always tell you, Kelechi. But at the time, I woke up one morning and told myself that I have to make a difference. So what I'm calling on the Biafrans today is think over all the things you are doing and stand up today to tell yourself that you want to make a difference. One, making a difference. Your thinking faculty have to change. Your reasoning faculty have to change. The way you do things, the way you behave to people, the way you live your life, you have to change everything. It is not by force. You have to do it yourself. Because before Mazi Nnamdi Kanu stood up and said he wants to go to Britain to study, he have already something in plan. He have something cooking. He went there to study in Britain to know more about the British people, so he can be able to come up with what we are all in today. After other people have sold the struggle or things like that. So he did all those things because he have a plan. So Biafrans, what plan do you people have to exit Nigeria today? What plan do you people have? You are clamoring for one Nigeria. You are clamoring for presidency. You are clamoring to be a senator. You are clamoring for everything. But at the same time, you said you are being marginalized. How come? If you are being marginalized, why are you still clamoring for anything that has something to do with this contraption? Why can't you just say, okay, we have found out that we are being marginalized. Now we want to have our own nation. Let's support our young ones. This thing they have been clamoring for, and let's do it at this time. You know, in our language, people says that where your child is pointing finger all the time, if his father is not there, his mother should be there. So this is why I always think, why are these people so brutal and cruel? They see their children dying every day. They see their land being taken over, being run over by the Fulanis every day. They saw already what happened in the Hausa nation, which is the other one nation, that the Fulanis have conquered the Hausa nation. They saw it. They saw some part of the Ududuwa nation that the Fulanis have conquered and still coming deeply to conquer more. And our people are still clamoring for one Nigeria. The Igbo people, you say you people have sense. I don't believe that. Maybe few of your children have something upstairs, but a lot of our people don't have something upstairs. They just believe in money. They believe money is everything. That is why you see rituals everywhere. That is why you see people go outside the country committing atrocities and crimes. That is why anywhere you go today, you can't even say that you are a Nigerian, not to talk of to say you are an Igbo. If you meet a white woman in Europe and you tell this woman you are an Igbo, she runs away from you. Just because you are an Igbo person. Because they believe our character you can't talk home about it. So this is very, very bad and crucial. So that is why we are telling our people today, we are out. And we are out for all. We are out for good. And we are out for anything you want. And we are going to give it to you people. Because this sanity, we have to bring it to Biafra land. It is time. Everybody have to wake up. If you don't want to wake up, we will come to your bed and wake you up. If you don't want to join what we are doing, we will force you to join it. Because nobody is being brought out to come suffer or die for the other person. No one. So this is just what I want to say today, Kelechi, because this thing is very, very is painful for those of us bringing ourselves in social media, putting our life in danger, the lives of our family, crying for the liberation of this very nation. Why some other people will just be there thinking about having money, thinking about having oil wells they can't give to you, but you have gold, diamond, and silver in your own land, and people are milking them. And you say you are intelligent, and you say you have something upstairs? No, something is wrong somewhere.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, comrade. That's fantastic. I just because of time, we might not have much time, but I just want to look at what this Prince Sonic Biafra news. I see many things that you wrote in this episode that you have sent, and of course they are very interesting. But there are things that I expected you to understand and know the answers. First, he talked about redundancy of inaction. The control is genuinely based on redundancy of inaction. And when you say
let me tell the guy who is saying that, even if the word he used is not what he's supposed to use, redundancy of inaction. So what is he doing? Which action are you taking?
Yeah. That's the first question we are going to ask him. First, he talked about we enthroned the monster that we're now fighting. I don't understand what you mean by enthroning the monster you are fighting, because in the first place, you always would come together before you can carry out actions to know who is true and who is not true. We came together. Biafra people saw the need for Simon to be there because Mazen Amkano has already said that he should broadcast on Radio Biafra. And we all supported and made sure that because of the attitude and the behavior of the members of the DOS, we supported Simon and made sure that he could, because he was showing that attitude of commitment and all of that. Now, how else do you want to know who you're going to work with? They are going to show you sign of commitment. The fruit, by their fruits we know them. So when he showed the sign of commitment, the people supported him. And of course, for us to know that he's not committed, we needed him to take actions in different ways. And it was the actions that he took that revealed his evil tendencies. And everything you analyze, you're talking about why he rushed to creating BR, whatever he called the government and all of that. You should understand that the so-called government in exile was created is a malicious creation for social media aggrandizement and for the purpose of duping the people. One, he knows that the Republic of Biafra government in exile is existent. They have called him several times to speak with him and to get him to be part of it, on that platform, but he rejected. You know why? Because it is all about what he's going to create for himself and control. It is not about the Biafra. It is not about and saying that he created it because of Azuka to make her deputy treasurer. It's not correct, because he created it for his own selfish purpose of controlling you and other people. And then, of course, Azuka being an accomplice. They know how they share the money. Their money is in Azuka's husband's account. So if creating a Biafra government in exile and Biafra Republic government in exile will not stop the money from being in Azuka's husband's account, but it will only enhance the ability to steal more from you. So I may not go deeply into what you've written, but I wish I have time to do that anyways. But because I'm not alone here in the studio, so I will not take so much time talking about this. But Prince Sonic, there was a time you were supporting some people, right? You also supported, maybe you supported the members of the DOS. Did you know they were going to sell Mazin Namikano? Did you know that? But it happened. And now you are also, maybe, I don't know if you are still supporting them anyways, but at least some of them were part of those who sold Mazin Namikano. So you don't blame people for embarking on a particular program because there was a unity. Or, for instance, you have done business where you have signed agreements with people before, if you're a business person, and they renege on that agreement. How did you know they were going to renege on the agreement? You never knew until you embarked on the business. So you don't know what people are capable of doing unless you begin to work together. Can two work together except they agreed? And as soon as they agree to work together, as they work together, they begin to see what is going to happen. That's why when you elect somebody to vote, when you vote for somebody to be the president, everybody gets excited. Maybe you also, this Prince Sonic, maybe you were one of those who were excited that Jonathan, when he comes to power, was going to do great things. And you got excited. And in the end, Jonathan, for 6 years of his presidency, never did anything great. And then people began to clamor for Buhari. And so many people were optimistic. And everything went down. So you don't say people enthrone monsters and then begin to fight the monsters. No, you enthrone people because you want to see that they give you the best. And then when they go against it, then you stop them. That's how it's been done everywhere in the world. When people are enthroned or given the opportunity to show themselves and they don't fulfill or give results, you take them off. That is normal because we are limited. We are humans. We are not God. We can't know the end from the beginning. We only know the beginning. As it starts, we start and then we continue. And then along the line, we see if you can or you cannot. So, comrade, just the last question before we round off. We have this program of the double R, of course, the RR code that we have. Rescue Mazin Namikano, Free, and Rescue Biafra or Restore Biafra. And then we understand here that we have lots of things doing. As at now, the most important thing is the release of Mazin Namikano. We know how that man has suffered for the past 2 years. He's in the dungeon of the DSS. And we are now coming together. We have a perfect template, a very solid template that will cause the Nigeria contraption to bring Mazin Namikano out and release him. And that is the priority now. Now, I want you to give a call because I want Biafrans to understand why they must be part of this program of Free Mazin Namikano. Because any fund that is not channeled towards any fund that goes into any other thing now, other than Free Mazin Namikano, is a misappropriated fund.
Yes, Kelechi, thank you very much. What I want to tell Biafrans is Onyendu formed the ESN, and the ESN are supposed to be in our bushes to make sure the Fulanis doesn't disturb our parents in going to their farm. So there is no time we are sending the ESN or anybody who says he's in charge of ESN is sending ESN to go confront any military or any forces in Nigeria or in the contraption. They are only to defend our land. So this is just to clear that because of people raising funds in the name of ESN, making some false, giving some false information or some false impression that they want to stop some actions in the contraption. So this is Simon Ekpa. So, but what I'm trying to, why I make this comment is that if you are putting your money there, you can see our faces. we comes out online to speak. We are not here to speak because we need their money. None of us need their money. We have been living, we have been surviving, we have everything we need to have in our life before you see us pop out today. We pop up today because Simon Ekpa got it wrong. That is why you could be able to know some people you didn't know before today. That is why you could be able to see some people you see here today. So what I'm trying to say is this very plan that we have is restore Biafra and release MNK. Or you can turn it around, release MNK and restore Biafra. These two things is moving parallel with one another. And it must be done. So, and it's a task for all Biafrans to take part, to partake in this very project, because we want everybody to be a stakeholder. This group that is coming up for this very action is telling you and assuring you that it's a concrete plan. If you are outside the box, you will never know what is going on inside the box. But if you come into the box, you know what is going on. You will be informed and be carried along. You cannot be outside the box and be asking questions, what are you going to do or what are you doing? We are not here to tell you people what we want to do or what we are going to do. But it's a task and it's like a must, if I should use this word. You are a Biafran. If you know you really want freedom and you want to be free from that contraption, you must come partake. Hold me responsible, hold Kelechi responsible, hold Pastor Livingstone responsible, or Prince, or anybody in that very accountability group. Hold any one of them responsible. This is the reason why we are holding Simon Ekpa responsible today for the killing of our people, for the disastrous things he have done to ESN that Onyendu created, to the way he have been scamming and duping the Biafrans for all the contribution they have been doing for nothing. Simon Ekpa just starts scamming you people by telling you he have a liaison house here. How much do you think he's collecting from you people because of each places he tells you he have a liaison house? Ask Simon Ekpa, if you have a liaison house in Finland, how much did he spend to get that liaison house? If he have one in the United States, how much did he spend to have the Biafran house? If he have one in South Korea, how much did he spend to get that one in South Korea or in Australia or in all the countries he have called and showed you pictures that he have liaison house? Ask him how much have you put in there. Those amount is enough to carry out the project we have now 10 times. So we can bring Nigeria to their knees. There is no way you can use your liaison house or whatsoever. You can do some diplomatic things. Onyendu told you that when you go to the Western world, he have visited many organizations in the Western world. When you speak about Biafra, they stand up and start walking away. Once you speak about Biafra, you can write the United Nations as much as you can, but you can only engage the international community here from this very point where we are in the Western world. You use other organizations in the Western world to engage the international community. You don't use that very thing happening in the contraption because nobody wants to listen to you. But these things we have in place, we are working on them. But the issue of releasing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is what I'm calling on all Biafrans. Come and join. Come and be a stakeholder. Come and be somebody that will experience this great thing that wants to happen. Come and be somebody that will be among the people who will tell the story that you did something, that you were among the people who made this plan on how Onyendu will be released and the restoration of Biafra. We don't tell you that other people that have been clamoring for the freedom of Biafra or for the, let me say, for the actualization of our sovereign land. We are not telling you that they are not doing anything. They are only saying something, but what have they brought to the table for you to see? That makes you know that they are leading you in the right direction. During the time of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, all of you knows that when he makes comment, things happens. When he told you about the ESN, you saw the gallant men. When he tell you there is no election, you don't see nobody move. When he tells you, you all should sit at home, everybody sits at home. And there was a great impact that those things brought in this very struggle. But today we have seen that it's just like a childish play. In some days, it will be 29 of May. Yeah? We are waiting for all those empty threats, what will happen in Biafra land. So this is the reason why we are telling you, if you say you are following autopilot, we don't say you shouldn't follow them. We are not clamoring for anybody not to follow any group you want to follow. You belong to the DOS who are working on the ground. It is your own business. But we are telling you that if you really want Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to be out and you want Biafra to be restored, come and be a shareholder. Come and partake in what we are doing today, where you can ask questions, where everything that is being done can be accounted for. It is accountability. You understand? And transparency. If you are in the box, everything, you will see everything that is happening. If anybody gives money, he sees his money where his money is going to. Nobody is in charge of that money. Not one single person. We don't want to start revealing some issues to you people, what we have put in place, on how the security we have put in place in this very fund, or in any fund we are raising. We don't want other people to take the ideas of what we are doing, because we are transparent. When you come in, you see what we are doing. Until when we launch this group, you will see everything we are doing in the open. But now that we are still in the box working, in the inner room, in the engine room working, we don't expose everything we do to you people now. But if you want to know what is happening, come in. If you come inside the box, you will see what is happening. You will see the plans we have. We just review a little bit to you people about Bruce FEIN. Simon Ekpa have been working for how long? He condemned Bruce FEIN. Let me ask you, Biafrans, if some people who came out and start insulting Bruce FEIN, I want to ask you people a question. Who is paying the lawyers or the counsel of Onyendu? Can you people tell me? Can you people ask Simon? Is Simon paying the Ejimako? Is Simon Ekpa paying Ifeanyi Ejiofor, who is still there, who is condemned? Is Simon Ekpa paying Ozekome? Who is paying the lawyers, those counsel that is handling the case of Onyendu? Who is paying them? This shows you that something is wrong somewhere. If you don't pay a lawyer, how did he make his money? Then the government is sponsoring the lawyer. I'm not proving it that the government is sponsoring them, but that is how it looks like. Because if you are in Western world, I use where I live as an example. If you have a problem, you find yourself detained, and you don't have a lawyer, the government gives you a lawyer and pay for that lawyer. This is how it is. And I don't believe that any lawyer in that contraption will come out to defend the case with that magnitude, the case of Onyendu's magnitude. He will come out freely to come and work to release Onyendu for free. If you are believing it, then you are dreaming. This is just what I want to let you people know. So we are putting things in place. We have a very strong plans that we have, and we are begging all of you, not even begging. I don't need to beg anybody. I'm sorry for using this word. We are calling on the Biafrans to come join the accountability group and transparency group, to pay your own, to sow your own seed, to come be a part of what we are doing, to come be a part of where you can ask questions and answers will be given to you, to come be in a group where if you put in anything, you can assess what you put, you can ask questions about what you put into that place, and you will see the fruit that it bears from that very soul you sow, that seed you sowed. This is what we are trying to tell you people. So it is time you rise up. If you want to pay two places, you want to give to Simon Ekpa and you want to bring to this place, at the end, just share what you have. Give Simon Ekpa $10 and put $10 in the accountability group, and you see what will happen. I swear, you in the next month, you will go to Simon Ekpa and start and sue him to court to give you your money back, because you will see what the accountability group will do with your $10. This is just what I'm telling you, Biafrans. Come and join us and let's put on together and make sure we release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and restore Biafra, or we restore Biafra and release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Thank you very much.
Thank you, comrade. That was a great submission. We are set to do what we are called to do, and that will warrant Edith Nedu, you're supposed to be part of the accountability group. Ego also, you're supposed to be part of it, and all those who have been consistently supporting the truth, you have to be part of the accountability group. It is a mandate for what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu stands for. So we're calling on you. You can reach me, call that number, and then be part of it. I think the number has been put by Kunon View here. You You can call the number, and then let's all do what we have to do to rescue Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu cannot be somewhere like this. And for 2 years, we have been dormant, static, staying on our own, and pursuing our own selfish desires and all of that. And those who come to claim that they are fighting for the release of, fighting for Biafra, cashing in on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's situation and causing so much embarrassment to Biafrans. It is time that we all come out. Defined program. Our program is defined. Rescue Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, restore Biafra. 2 things. Very, very clear mission. There's no ambiguity around it. There's no, we know we have espionage. So anyway, espionage, they can just come around to, we have espionage. We know that, but we know how to handle them. So if you are an espionage, if you are in the program of, part of those who Simon will use as espionage, you are free, but we know how to catch you. The truth knows how to bring you out. So thank you so much, comrade. Appreciate you so much. And of course, I want to tell Biafrans, it is very, very important that you become part of this. Edith is giving an opinion here. Each of us should donate $100. There are people who cannot donate $100. There are people who can donate $10 every day. Those who can donate $100 every month. Those who can donate, even $1,000, $500, $2 million, $1 million. People have the resources. People can give their videos might. We all must come together. We must come together. So with what you have,
Kelechi, let me just let Biafrans understand this. It doesn't mean we are here telling you to come and join or to come and be part of what we are talking about. This very plans is ongoing.
Yes.
The contribution is already ongoing. There have been people who have given $500. People have given $1,000. It is ongoing, just for your own knowledge.
Yes.
Just to let you know. It doesn't mean we are here talking that you should come. You should come right now because we have a time frame. That is why we are just talking about it. We have a time frame.
Yes, we have a time frame. So that's why we're calling you now to come. And people are already given their own quota to this. People are already given their own part of it. So you have to do it fast. It is not something that is ad infinitum. It is something that is programmed for a particular time to happen. So you have to come now. Now is the time. Call the number and be part of it. It is time we do something for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, for all the sacrifices and everything he has done for us. It's a shame on every one of us to sit out there and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is out there. Okay, Edith, did you say you have sent me a message on WhatsApp? All right, I'm going to check it. It's just that that particular WhatsApp app is on one of my phone that started giving me problems. It comes on and then it trips off for 5 minutes. And then it comes on again. And so I find it hard to put on that phone. It's only once a while. I just want to put it on and all of that. It has a serious demonic attack. And so the new phone has another particular app that has another number. So I'm going to connect to you, and then we're going to connect to the new app so we can now work in that regard. So thank you so much, Edith Nedu. And I'm going to call others too who want to be part of this to also reach me on that number. And let me put it again so you can see the number, and then reach us so that we can work together. It is time we work together. Let's disregard all these shenanigans and all these criminals. We have wasted our time so much for this, but it's time for us to do what you have to do. I remember, comrade, what you are doing now. I think somebody was saying, one medical person was saying that this thing you're doing is very good.
Yes.
So I just remember that duty call to every genuine Biafran. Okay, let me read what Moses says there. It said duty call for every genuine Biafran. There's room to query and ask questions as to how and what your money is used in the accountability and transparency group. Work is in progress. Thank you so much, Moses, for that. Moses Zakaya, very strong member of the accountability group. And of course, there's room for you to ask any question. Nobody queries you, nobody suspends you or sends you away because of questions. We answer every question because we are transparent.
Exactly.
We have a structure of transparency. Thank you all. Please, tomorrow I'm going to go in depth into the analysis. I didn't do the analysis of Bruce FEIN's submission today. I'm going to be doing that analysis tomorrow. Because of time, I didn't do it today. So by tomorrow, hopefully, rather than the Twitter space, we're going to be here by 4 p.m. And I will be doing the analysis, critical analysis, and I will lead you into some revelations that will blow your mind on what is happening and how you are being manipulated. And from Bruce FEIN's submission, you are going to see that there are so many things that need to be revitalized for the purpose of getting our program and our targets met. Remember, Mazen Amekano is still there, and it's our responsibility. If you don't know, it's our responsibility just to watch this again and just remember what Mazen Amekano said to us, what we should do. Before we go, listen to this.
The worst mistake Buhari ever made was to arrest him. Yes. The worst mistake ever. What is going to happen? I am taking IPOB to Abuja on the 17th of next month in our court case.
We are with you, sir. We are with you.
There will be 2 million people in Abuja.
Yes. I will be there. I will be there. I will be there with you, sir. I will be there.
We take the battle to our enemies.
Yes, sir.
And let me make this very clear to you. You are under oath.
Yes.
And by virtue of that oath, you are under direct order from me.
Yes.
Any day you wake up, you hear I've been arrested, burn Nigeria down.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That is an order. Thank you so much, comrade. That is an order.
Thank you very much.
Mazen
Thank you very much.
That's an order, and we must carry that out of that order, and everybody must be part of this. Thank you so much, everyone. We appreciate you. Please share this broadcast, cut the part you need to cut, and send to the people. Give the information out for this support. You heard what comrade said here. He gave us analysis and the details of what we need to know about our coming together under the auspices of the accountability group to do what we have to do for Mazen Amekano and free him. So cut that part, send it everywhere. Cut that part. Just cut in briefs, and forward to all platforms you belong. Let people hear the message and let people be part of this. Thank you so much. Or you will be here again to talk with you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Comrade.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Appreciate you.